Hello dear students, heartiest welcome to this course. I am your course instructor Krishna Chythanya Nagaraju, assistant professor in the department of CSE, GRI, Hyderabad. So the course we are going to discuss object oriented software engineering, in short OOSE Lab. So this is a bit quite interesting lab what you are going to have. In general, we feel software engineering as a theoretical completely dry subject, but this time you have object oriented software engineering, for which we also have lab. The lab which will be implemented in the approach of object orientation, and for the third year BTech candidates. So let us see. For a while I want you to go through this course objectives before we deal with the actual course. We would like to impart you the object oriented software engineering that can be implemented using UML. So we will be speaking on UML in this course, in this laboratory course. We want you to practice object-oriented software engineering principles for real-time problems. You should be able to design various type of diagrams for real-time problems, and test case generation is also one of the objective. Demonstrate object-oriented software engineering methodologies for various real-time problems. So these are the objectives, and when it comes for the outcomes, you should be able to analyze and identify requirements for real-time problems after this course. You should be able to design and implement various software design models, usage of modern engineering tools for specification design and implementation, provide appropriate solutions for the real-time problems using object-oriented software engineering methodology. And designing test cases for various real-time problems is also expected obviously from you. The softwares we will be using to discuss is Star UML, Emberillo. Either Star UML we can use or Emberillo we can use, and also we use JUnit. That will be in the end of the course. We will be having some testing. So for that we will be using JUnit. Now for this lab, today's session we will have introduction of object-oriented software engineering, introduction of UML, and then we will discuss the task 1, that is of week 1. So what is actually happening in your software engineering you study is of SDLC, that is software development life cycle, which consists of, as you can see, I am focusing on the very required part for our discussion. Initially we will have requirement analysis, then we will go for system specification, then we will go for design. So here in this laboratory we will focus more on this design, how you will be designing, taking into consideration of object oriented approach, so that you will be able to design the project or the product in the form of these objects. So we will start with requirement analysis. So initially requirement analysis and system specification is very important. This is the reason why task 1 is dedicated for this specification, that is like problem identification part, and then we will go for design. The whole laboratory is concerned with the design aspect, how to design, how you will be designing, that we need to see. Implementation is done using your programming languages, then you will go for testing, and then you will go for maintenance, and this is like SDLC happens. So let us try to understand this a bit of UML part here. Basically model is a simplified, complete and consistent abstraction of a system created for better understanding of the system. UML stands for Unified Modeling Language. As we are discussing with English, to understand, we try to communicate among the people in one or other way. So in case of modeling, we will use some diagrams. UML is a graphical language to write a software system blueprint. UML is designed as a language for visual modeling that allows to specify, visualize, construct, understand and document the various artifacts of the system. There may be many artifacts we will be having. So all those artifacts, the components, we should be able to specify, visualize, construct and understand. Please remember these activities we should be doing when we are going through the course. It is used to depict the structures and the relationships in a complex system. So a system may be having subsystems. how each subsystem is related to the other subsystem, how one object is related to the other object, classes, relationships, that we will see. Now, what is that? See, for any modeling, actually we should have a problem, and then for that we will have an analysis of requirements, that basically we call it as requirements elicitation, and then we will specify the problem so that we will be able to design it. So throughout this lab, we will be discussing three major problems. These will be running problems throughout this laboratory. All the tasks are based on these problems. So what are those three problems we will be looking at? The first one is the library management system. So now you need to think how we can automate a library management system. And the second one is automating the manual reservation system. Here we will consider the case of railways, railway reservation automation. The third one is warehouse management system. So these three problems we will be handling throughout the task. We will try to give different modelings, different types of diagrams for these three problems. Now, prepare the problem statement for the applications. So, in the task 1, what we need to do is we need to prepare the statement for the applications what we have considered earlier. So, the problem statement is the initial point for a project. It is the beginning point from where we will start. The problem statement should be written in non-technical terms. Now, it should be in a generalized way. It should try to emphasize on the procedure that is being followed, the process that is happening. It should not be technical. It helps the non-technical and technical personnel communicate by providing a description of a problem. So, the main intention is problem description here. It may give an overview of the existing system along with broad expectations from the new system. Should not be technical, very specific in expectation. It should have a broad expectation. It does not describe the solution to the problem. Please remember, your statement should not give a solution. The input to requirement engineering is the problem statement prepared by the customer. So, requirement elicitation is based on the problem statement. So, the question is like, why should I model? So what happens if I don't model? So this is one best example we can find on the net. I have taken it from the internet. The source is given. So this is what can happen. The customer, he thought they may be needing this one, and actually what they can need, what they may be in need of, and how the documentation about this requirement was done. So these are like gaps in the requirements, miscommunication that can happen. So to avoid this miscommunication, we need to have a proper design. So that is the reason why we should have a model, proper model. So for the unified library system, if we observe, it is a software system that uses books and magazines to register students only. So this is the task. The library management system is used for storing details of a large number of books, magazines, journals and thesis. We all know like what will be there in the library. It allows to add, search, borrow, return. These are the facilities what it will be allowing to separately to the administration or the librarian. Only see, I cannot go and do it. If I need it, the administrator or librarian has to issue me, or he has to help me in this. Staff and students, what are the roles, what are the responsibilities, what are the actions that can be performed? So that should be considered. The student has to log in after getting registered to the system. The borrower of the book can perform various functions such as searching for desired book, get the issued book and return the book. So these are the roles and actions that can be performed. And then to identify the main entities of this system is the objective of this task. Now you people need to identify, to find out the relationship between the objects that you have identified, and to find the necessary attributes and functions that need to be associated with each object. Now if you have identified one object, what does that object carry information, and what are the operations that the object can perform? So that becomes your like class sort of thing, if I specifically mention like operations and attributes. So you should be able to identify the object. to make a comprehensive diagram showing all objects and their relations along with their attributes and functions. That is the objective for library management system. In the same way, we can also consider for online railway reservation system. Now just think once, what will happen in railway reservation system, but how we can automate that process. So what basically happens, the software has to be developed for automating the manual reservation system, where the passengers can reserve the tickets for their travel, and we may also cancel the reserved ticket, and they can view the status of the ticket before traveling. So this is what we do generally, right? The system should be standalone in nature. Now this is one requirement. It should be designed to provide functionalities like booking of tickets, in which a user should be able to apply for tickets of any train of any class. So there are some trains classes, like we have class 1, we have sleeper class, AC, 3-tier AC, something like this. If seats are not available, then put user transaction in the waiting queue, as what we generally have it. If the tickets are available, then it is issued to the user and it must be updated in the database concurrently. It also provides the functionality of cancellation of the tickets that should be there. So for the data warehouse management system, we can see the client for the object is interested in receiving an upgrade for their warehouse management system. This is the situation. The mission of the project is to modernize, increase efficiency and reduce errors that take place in their supply chain system. Very big warehouse we are having, we need to maintain it. So the supply chain management system need to be properly handled. For that we need to do some solution. Currently the clients are using a fax based system to send and receive orders. This system is crucial to the company because they need to receive parts that are required in their product. Currently they are experiencing manual errors caused by the employees. So this is a situation. See, complete non-technical way of presentation. The company is looking to modernize the system and move their records into a database to increase processing speed, reduce errors and create more standardization. So you need to come out objects for this particular problem in the process of solution finding. These are the referred books, suggested textbooks and reference books. So we will see you in the next task in continuation. Thank you. Happy learning.